Thank you for holding, everybody. Just one quick announcement. We are unable to get a hold of Mark Hudspeth. We will try to circle back up with him later, but now we are joined with Todd Berry, the head coach of ULM. If you have a question for Coach Berry, please dial *1 on your phone at this time. Coach, while we're waiting for questions to get in the queue, would you mind starting us off with an opening statement?
Yeah, disappointed, obviously. Thought we would be more competitive than what we were, and maybe even during the game. It was the score, I don't know, was necessarily indicative. Oklahoma's got a good football team, probably the next to LSU from 3 years ago, probably the most athletic group that we've seen. And overall, mental assignments were pretty good. We had a tough time always tackling, and that created some issues for us. And offensively, just never could quite get engaged, couldn't separate the way we needed to, couldn't break the tackle that we needed to, and quarterback's injury created some problems for us from a game plan standpoint. So anyway, we've got to rebound this next week and get better, but I think our players were upset, and that was a good thing after the game. That tells us that where we need to be emotionally.
Thank you, Coach. As a reminder, our members of the media, it is *1 to ask questions. Coach, talk a little bit about Grambling, home opener, and against an in-state opponent.
Yeah, we're excited about coming home, obviously. We've traditionally always been on the road, and sometimes multiple times early in the season, and as we will be this, so we need to take advantage of our home opportunities. Our players are excited about trying to get better this week, and I think they're excited about trying to a little bit of redemption. And so we've only got one game on Grambling. They made some changes structurally, and so we'll have to adjust to those structural changes like we had to against Oklahoma, and so that'll be another challenge for us mentally.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Monroe. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hello, Coach. It's Tabby. How are you this morning?
I could be better, but I'm okay.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to see if there was any clear perception on Colton's injury after seeing yesterday, maybe getting treatment. Do you know of anything more than you did Saturday night about a time frame?
Well, I think he'll play this week. In relation to how good he's going to be at that point in time, I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, he continued to play with it. He's a tough kid, and we'll have to adjust the game plan based off of kind of some of his productivity. Obviously, a lot of our offense is based around our quarterback and his ability to be able to do things. It'd be silly for us not to do that, and we'll just have to kind of go into this week's game plan in relation to kind of where he's at. He could be 100% by that point in time, or he could be 75% by that point in time. It's just one of those type of injuries that we'll just have to kind of wait and see.
Okay. And then Braley, I see he's back at number 2 in the depth chart. I know that maybe because he had more participation in practice, but where would you gauge him with his injury and getting back to his normal self?
I'd say he's probably in that 80% range, and hopefully, again by the end of this week that we're back up to close to 100%. I think there's certainly that chance that could happen, and that would obviously put less stress on Colton if need be, and maybe not have to require us to really have to do some things different from a game plan standpoint.
Okay, I guess just keep going down the line with quarterbacks. You talked about not really wanting to put freshman Brian Williams, maybe try to not burn that red shirt, but if you have to play him, you have to play him. Do you anticipate maybe him getting in at all this week with Grambling coming to town and maybe just working him into a first college-type game atmosphere?
Well, obviously, I think it's always better to have that opportunity at home, I think, to where there's a little bit more things going for a quarterback emotionally at home than there is sometimes on the road. I did not want to play him if I didn't have to against Oklahoma, just because of the nature of the place and the environment and some of those other kinds of things, and let him get a feel for what all that was about. But I think mentally he's ready to go. I think physically he's ready to go, and so we'll just kind of gauge what happens with the other quarterbacks. But I really wouldn't have a major issue in him being able to play this week.
Okay. Last question. I didn't know until right before kickoff, Cody Robinson did not travel, a linebacker. He had like a minor injury there late in the week. It's very unfortunate for you guys. But where is he at? Do you think that he will be back for this week?
I think that probably Cody has a chance to play this week, but I think it's probably pretty doubtful in relation to when we expect him back. Yeah, he had a little minor injury in the weight room. Nothing that's severe or any of those other kinds of things, but occasionally you're going to have one of those, and we had a little one this week, and I'm pleased with the linebackers, a place where we have significant depth, and so while we miss Cody, obviously, because he was a starter, the drop-off between our ones and twos at the linebacker position, and even our threes, for that matter, is not as dramatic as it is at some other positions, like quarterback, for instance, which you mentioned earlier, because of the two injuries. But, I do expect Cody back here in the near future, probably doubtful for this week.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
You bet, Tabby.
Thank you, Tabby, and thank you, Coach Barry. That's all the time we have for you today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as a reminder, we will have Commissioner Carl Vinson on at the end of today's call. If everyone stand by, we will have Mark Hudspeth of Louisiana Lafayette on shortly. Please stand by.